Hey guys, everybody remember Muhammad Ali? And again, caution, I'm about to do a very bad impression. Remember, he would say, "I'm the greatest," and he would talk about, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and he would do all of that. And he had that real husky voice and real deep voice, and the point is not his voice. The point is that he's kind of well known for kind of patting himself on the back, and he, as far as boxers go, he's probably the greatest. And but here's the rub on that. That's an arguable point, right? There's somebody who go, no, I think maybe Mike Tyson was the greatest, or Sugar Ray, or everybody's got somebody in that boxing arena that they feel was the greatest. Who's the GOAT, the greatest of all time? And that is the problem with human beings. And we could say, okay, you're in the top 10, or you're in the Hall of Fame, or whatever it is, but there's always going to be somebody better. In stats, or in like actual, people's minds. The greatest. And that's why we want to look at the one who is the GOAT, the original GOAT, the eternal GOAT, and that is Jesus Christ. The same yesterday, today, forever. His stats are, they're not even, like, stats aren't even worthy of him. You know what I mean? Like he's just so amazing, and he never changes. He's always like at the highest possible level and the highest level of perfection. He is. There's no one who could argue that point. I mean, you might not agree, but again, when you look at how he died for us and rose for us, how he came to give his life for us, that is the most amazing thing. It's certainly something that we could boast about and say he was the greatest and is the greatest. Look at Galatians 6:14. Paul says this. He says in 6:14, but far be it from me to boast. Far be it from me to boast, except in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, by which the world has been crucified to me and I to the world. So for Paul, it was a correction of, again, talking so much about the things in this world, saying, oh, that's the greatest, and that's the greatest, and he's the greatest, and she's the greatest. And again, that's okay to think well of others. I think that's an awesome thing. That's probably a gospel-motivated thing where you want to put other people first and encourage them as much as possible. But the problem is we don't want to make them into little gods, right? Little saviors or little kings or queens or whatever. But to realize that the thing that we boast in our lives, the thing that we make much of is Christ. Because we've been crucified. In other words, God has put to death kind of this pull those things can have, that money and fame and fortune and being the best and being the GOAT and trying to kind of leverage things so that I can be seen as the GOAT. He's like, look, no, I'm crucified to that. And Paul was a dude who had some credentials, man. He had some stats, if you want to talk about that kind of thing. From a religious standpoint, knew everything about everything. Had the best teachers, the best pedigree, the best training, the best everything. He was the man. But he's like, look, I've been crucified with Christ, right? I have been, those things that have been crucified to me, that's how I consider them. They've been put to death. Jesus died for them. They are something, like if it's about me, it's something to be repented of. It's something to be said, no, that's not who I am. That does not give me my worth. The world does not define me and give me my worth. It's Jesus and what he did for me. It's the fact that he loves me and died for me. And so far from being a negative thing, this winds up being a real positive thing, because then I could focus on what really matters. It's him and what he has given to me. He gives me my meaning, my identity. He shows me what I'm really all about. And even though he gives me the really clear picture of who I am, right? The brokenness, the fallen, the cursed nature of who I am without him, he reminds me again that he died for me. He reminds me again that he loves me, and that he gave his life, and I am free because of what he has done and continues to do. And so I don't boast in all these other things, right? They've been crucified. They've been done away with. Their importance is put into its perspective and into its place. And at the top of all of it is Jesus. Of everything it's him, man, because he loves me and died for me. He's my everything and the be all end all. He's it all. So please, let's focus on him. Let's worship him every day. Let's make much of him with the moments that we have in today, tomorrow, and the rest of our lives. All right, I'm Pastor Fred. This is The Follow Through. Great to have you with us. Please hit that subscribe button and share this with somebody, and we will see you next time for another Follow Through.